Hi, I'm Cephalos, and if you love live electronic music, then you're in the perfect place. Today I'm going to show you a little trick, how you can use one knob on almost any analog synthesizer to turn almost any synth sequence into a set of pad sounds. I hope it's useful. Please don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment down below if you have some thoughts about it. Thanks. Hi, here we are behind the synths. So let's see, how can we take a basic synth sequence and turn it into a set of magical pads? I started here with an initialized patch, using some sawtooth waves, and build this sequence. Let's hear how it sounds. Nothing too fancy, didn't work much on it, just something that moves a little bit across different chords. So how can we take this basic sequence and turning into some pads? For that, we look to this guy, the magical release button. Listen to what happens as I gradually open up the release. We basically introduced a pad underneath the sequence. Now, as we increase the release, obviously the overlap between notes is going to increase. That may end up sounding dissonance at some point, depending on what kind of chords you have. For example, here maybe too much. You kind of lose the sense of harmonic progression, right? You want maybe just slight overlap between different chords. And back to where we started. Now you also want to keep in mind that depending on how much polyphony you have, some notes may cut out. So having a really long release, and especially if you have a fast sequence, can lead to even more canceling out. So maybe we can slow this down. So now we have a little more leeway with the release. The other thing we can do is decrease the envelope generation. This smears the landscape. And if we open up the filter more, we start getting into soundscape territory. And back. And this is where we started. Okay, so I hope this helps you see how you can pull this off on a very accessible synthesizer. Now, let's look at another synthesizer, Oberheim TEO-5. Same deal. I initialized the patch, made a basic chord sequence. Okay? Now, if I was careful and said this where it was supposed to be, okay, we would have been here. So again, a basic synth sequence, blistering through a couple of different chords. As we increase the release on the amplitude envelope, we're introducing that pad underneath. Again, if it's completely open, it ends up causing a mess. So avoid that. Somewhere around here. Again, we can smear it further by decreasing the filter envelope generation. Play with the filter setting. So here we got a pretty nice pad sequence. Again, going back where we were. Alright, I hope this was helpful, and you can basically apply this to any synthesizer. The most important thing is that it has to be a polyphonic synthesizer, otherwise you can't have overlap across the notes and you can't get those arpeggios to actually make the pads. See you next time.